Hello, my name is Owen. Today I'll be going through my top stories that I've experienced throughout the years. You guys know, I mainly talk about books like 95% of the time. However, I'm just a lover of stories. Books are just my preferred medium. But I was thinking back about all of the stories that I experienced throughout the year across like a vast array of mediums. And I kind of want to make a list of those as well. I already did my top 5 books of the year so far. So why not just do the other mediums of entertainment that I've experienced so far? Because maybe if you're a fan of those other mediums, I give you a good rec, and if not, you just kind of get a glimpse of like the other things that I do with my life outside of books. So just to start with books, to get out of the way, I've talked about it many times on the channel, so I won't spend too much time on it. My top book of the year so far was Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. Like I said, I'm not going to delve too much into why I liked it, because I talked about that in my top 5 books video, talked about it when I reviewed it, talked about when I overviewed the series. It's enough, right? But basically, I just think that Robin Hobb has some of the best character work and character growth out of any author that I've ever seen. And of the trilogy, the Farseer trilogy, I think the second book was my favorite of the 3. It's where Fitz really came into his own, and I just love him to death. He's probably one of my favorite protagonists of all time. So that's why that's my favorite book of the year so far. As for a movie, I also reviewed this on the channel. It's probably The Whale. Obviously, Brendan Fraser won his Oscar for being the lead role in that movie, but I haven't watched a movie this year other than that has driven me to that point of emotion. It really watches like a play. It was based on a play, and it's like really set just in his apartment, and just like the front porch was the only settings. And I really enjoy that type of film. The like limited, tight film where just in one space and like the characters come in and out. And I thought it was absolutely fantastic. A special shout out to Hong Chow, who did a fantastic job in that movie. I thought she personally should have won the Oscar for Best Supporting, but I didn't see Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I know everyone says they should. But I really love that movie. I teared up at the end. I just think it's a beautiful message, and props to Brendan Fraser for winning that Oscar. Good for him, man. Going on to Best TV Show I've seen so far this year, that came out this year, that would be Succession, Season 4. Succession was my favorite shows of the last few years, and I was thinking, and I think Season 4 stuck the landing, because it's the last season of all time. There was a lot of season of like the ending seasons, like series ending seasons. There was Succession, there was Ted Lasso, and then there was one more. I don't remember what it was though. But Ted Lasso, I thought it was a good last season. Succession, I think, was a better last season, and it really stuck the landing, I think, thematically with that show. It is a tragedy of sorts. So I kind of knew where it was going to end up, but I just think that the way it ended up was perfectly in line with the characters and motivations. I know some people weren't super happy with the ending, but I think that you're wrong. I think the thing I really liked about that show, if you haven't watched any of it at all, it's just about a group of nepo babes, essentially, to like this aging media company owner. Like, he's like Logan Roy, and then his kids are like want to succeed him in owning the company. The thing I really like about this show is because there's not like a lot of action, there's not a lot of events, or the events that happen aren't as important as like the character dynamics. And you guys know how much I love character, so there's so many scenes that have the most tension and the most drama and the most like action, quote unquote, are just 2 people talking, and it's just their characters are so well developed and their ideology is so well developed that like their conversations are just like fireworks. And I think that's why the show is so interesting. And I think, honestly, it's unique in a lot of ways. Because, like, you compare it to another great show like Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is really driven by, like, I feel like the big events of the season, right? So it's like he's got to get this big order of drugs or whatever. He's got to, like, hide it from his family. It's just, oh, this person's murdered. How does that drive the plot? There's not a lot of that. There's no explosions. There's no, like, big action set pieces in Succession. It's just people talking and their flaws and how those flaws, like, create personal drama. And I just think it's like, if a show can have me gripped by just people talking a lot, it's just a testament to like great TV writing. And I was really happy with how it ended up, and I'm rewatching the show from the beginning because that's just how much I like the show. So I think season 4 really stuck the landing there. As for music, I know what you're thinking. Music, I'm a really like story, even in music, guys. I love a song that tells a nice little tale. I usually, in terms of genre, this isn't going to be for everyone, I really like folk music. I really like Fleet Foxes. They're probably my favorite band of all time. So sticking in that genre, I think the best music I listen to in terms of story is Stick Season by Noah Kahan. Specifically, like the extended version that he released a couple months ago. I think it was just the beginning of June, actually, where he added like an additional 5 songs, maybe 6 songs to his original Stick Season album, which came out last year, which I absolutely loved. This album really tells a story of like a guy in his hometown and how like he resents it, but feels like he's stuck there and like wants to escape, but like the nostalgia surrounding his town. And it's really coherent. I think every song in the album, and the original album and the extended one, not only are they great songs, but they tell a really succinct emotional journey of this character. It's not in the sense that like some albums, like tell a story the whole way throughout. And there is a little bit of that, especially with the extended edition. He kind of described it as like, if the first half is like the resentment and like the angst of like being stuck in a town, the other one's kind of like accepting it and like appreciating it. I think especially like some shout outs from that album that I really like is Your Needs, My Needs. That's an extended one. And The View Between Villages, which is in the original album, but then there's an extended version. And I just think those songs are absolutely beautiful pieces of music, but also tell a very, like there's a coherent theme throughout the entire album, but I just think those songs specifically tell a very vivid story, like when you're listening to the music and the lyrics and stuff like that. It's a little bit weird, guys, but if you want to check out some good music and you like folk music, it's a fantastic album. Regardless if you like story and music or not, it's a great album. And another one is theater. You can tell like a lot of my story appreciation and that stuff is rooted in theater because like what did I say earlier, right? I like TV shows where people are talking to a lot to solve the problems, not a lot of action set pieces. Sounds a lot like a play to me. What did I say The Whale was a lot like? A play. I have a great love for theater. I've directed some theater in the past 3 years, and I just absolutely love it. And I've had the opportunity to see a couple Broadway shows in the past year or so, which I had never done before in my life. And just the other week, I saw Josh Groban in Sweeney Todd. Oh, it was so good, guys. That was like, I've only seen like 4 Broadway shows in my entire life. And just this is the first time I ever saw like a celebrity in a Broadway show. So like Josh Groban comes out like as Sweeney Todd, and I was like, it's Josh Groban. And I'm not even a Josh Groban fan, but even now I was like, what, Josh Groban? Literally not listened to a single piece of his music. I just know he's famous. But the show is absolutely fantastic. It's dark, it's funny, and the music is like just really good, guys. I highly recommend. I hope they do like a pro shoot, kind of like they did for like Hamilton on Disney Plus. I hope they do that. But I highly recommend, if you don't have the opportunity to see it, to just listen to some of the songs they released on Spotify, especially like the Joanna Act 2 sequence, because I knew nothing about Sweeney Todd before I saw it. I just knew that like it got some Tony buzz, Josh Groban was in it, knew nothing about it. Demon Barber of Fleet Street from the episode of The Office, that's what I knew about the show. But it blew me away. I think it's another very tight thematic show. It knows what the message is trying to sell. It doesn't really deviate from that. A very dark show. Some great, I don't know if it's called special effects, but like staging with when he's like doing his demon barbering, I guess. It was really cool to watch, and Josh Groban has the voice of an angel. A very deep voiced angel, I would say. But yeah, guys, those are some of the great stories across many mediums that I enjoyed so far this year. I don't know if I'll do another one of these videos at the end of the year, because I doubt I'll see another theater show or listen to another album that I'll like as much. Because usually when I find a piece of music that I like, I listen to it forever until I'm sick of it, then I never listen to it again. So I bet I'll still be listening to Stick Season until the end of the year. I haven't been watching that much TV. Just to keep rambling on, I started watching the F1 documentary on Netflix. That's very good. That might make the list. Fantastic show. Even though I knew nothing about F1 beforehand. I recommend checking that out. That's on Netflix. But yeah, I guess we'll see. I hope you guys liked this video. A little bit different from what I normally do. So I want to know in the comments what else you guys are like immersing yourselves in. Because obviously we talk a lot about books here, but like what shows are you enjoying? What movies have you seen that like really struck a chord with you on like a deep level? Because I saw a couple good movies, but like The Whale was one like emotional chord. And if you guys like theater, I love talking about theater, but I just feel like I don't know enough about it to like talk about it on a YouTube video or stuff like that. And then also music, especially if it's like in folk genre. Come on, guys, give me stuff. Feed me, feed me. But be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more like it in the future. Thanks for sticking around.